body feels better because you've been drinking celery juice. You know what's funny is that celery.
Along with fascial movements.
Wait, did you tell me that part? What's a fascial movement?
Fascial opening
okay,
movements.
Okay, so like you're like you sit upright in your chair, and then you like pull your shoulders back, and then like you're done, and then like maybe you put your head to the side. Is that what you're saying by fascial movements?
So your fascial tissue is what holds your posture.
Yeah.
And you naturally go back into the posture that your fascial tissue is set at. When we are children,
When we sit in a desk, we're usually fucking slouched
yeah,
over.
but you look at kids, they have perfect posture.
Yeah.
Naturally. And it's not until they start getting into specific habits that they change that posture.
Yeah.
And what happens is when you do it long enough, you train it into that position, and then your body automatically slinks back into it. That's one of the reasons you notice like dancers who were dancers for years, but maybe haven't danced for, 10 years, they still have great posture.
I don't know if you noticed, but Kaylee has really good posture.
Mm-hmm.
She was a dancer for 20 plus years.
She trained her fascial tissue really, really well.
And it's annoying because she still can fucking like touch her head to her knees. And, like she can still touch the ground. She can still touch her toes.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Facial. Oh God, this
What's
is
really cool about it is I'm noticing like I don't necessarily always have the best posture, but when I was really little, I did gymnastics. And I had to stop really young for reasons that it's a whole other story. But, like, I can still put my palms flat on the ground. I didn't think I would be able to do that at this age. Like, and I haven't tried in so long. But I also, I think it helped me with my job,
Yep.
Standing all day. I am very aware, like, even though I'm disconnected from my body, like, I pay attention to how I stand while I work.
So you're not too disconnected, but you're somewhat disconnected.
A lot of it has to do with, like...
You're 10% connected.
Yeah. Well, also, I've always been very connected to my feet because... Although I don't listen to the whispers of my body, my feet scream at me like bloody murder. And I've always had issues with my feet ever since I was young. I'm completely flat-footed. I have no arch. Like, it's
Hate
why
to
my...
see it.
Yeah.
Fucking got a...
When I was 10...
I was going to make a Lord of the Rings joke.
My dad used to make fun of me for running like a duck when I was 10.
Fucking paddle feet. You got paddle feet. Quack, quack, quack.
I do. Which leads me into a completely other topic, that the idea that, like, in our evolution, that there's a good chance that we evolved definitely in an aquatic, like, atmosphere. Which is why we have feet the way we have them. It's why we're such good swimmers.
Yeah.
And why we're hairless like other aquatic mammals.
I want to believe I was a dolphin. I think so. Hey, guys, welcome back to Spotlight. I don't remember the intro. You're the one with the intro.
Oh, Lord.
We have to write it down. It's okay. We don't, you know what? We don't even have to intro it. It's just, welcome back to Spotlight. Thank you guys for viewing, watching, and subscribing. We hope everybody's doing well today. It's been a minute.
This week we're back to the shit show.
Yeah. We're back here to the shit show. I hope you guys are doing well. It's been a minute since we've gotten together and talked about some pods. It's December 18th, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to Minnesota tomorrow. We were supposed to have a family party, and well, that went off the rails because of, I want to blame Omicron, but like there's, we have other family members who are just sick, and their immune systems are down, and it's the winter time. And to top it off, the weather was fucking 60 degrees yesterday, and now it's 30 degrees. It's driving me crazy.
Yeah, that definitely has an effect. And even my cat was freaking the fuck out yesterday. She ran between my dad's legs out the front door. He grabbed her by the scruff so fast.
He cares about that cat. Mm-hmm. When you were moving back, he was like, I don't know about the cat. Blah, blah, blah. But you know what? He loves that thing more than... He probably talks to Suki more than you guys.
He trained her to lay in the beanbag in front of the window.
How's retirement going? Oh, it's going great. I taught my cat how to fucking sleep. Oh my god, I love it. It's I was expecting him to be here. I don't know where the hell he's at. He
I don't
said he was
know.
gonna show up, or
He probably went for a walk.
yeah, he did say he's been walking more, and he's like
Maybe he'll pop in at like 10:30.
Yeah, he probably will. But yeah. So it's been a minute since we've gotten together, and I've been putting podcasts out still from previous recordings that we've done. Uh, um, I had an idea when I just got a new job. Not looking forward to it, just because it takes me away from doing the things that I really love. But the things that I really love aren't making me money. So I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. But you know what? I have to accept where my life is, and I got to move on, and I got to do what I got to do. But I was thinking the name we can name this podcast, The Perfect Storm, because you were also talking about some opportunity that you've had and how that life can be a perfect storm if you let it to be a perfect storm.
Yes.
Like all right, I mean, literally this job is the perfect storm for me. It's less than 10 minutes from my house. It's from 6 o'clock to 4:30, 10-hour days. I'm off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. A lot of jobs do not offer that.
No.
And so, that's a W, 100% a W. But, what's funny is I believe I manifested this opportunity, and specifically with this company. When I was delivering with DoorDash, I would always pass by this company, and it always intrigued me, and they always had signs out front that they're hiring people. I didn't know what they were about. I knew nothing really about it. I went on their website and tried to go through them. Didn't end up working out, but I've been putting I've been putting stuff in Indeed and trying to find jobs, and so that I can make more money and buy more podcast gear, and then to spend it all and then go back to work and then do it all over again. That's the goal. Is to make all the money and then spend all the money so that I can make a lot more money in the future, because this podcast is going through the roof and we're gonna fucking make it. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know. It's just a perfect storm for myself, and I really think that everybody can create their own perfect storm. Oh, I didn't finish the story. So yeah, I was going back and forth, and I just was like, I bet you I can work there. Like they're looking for soldering technicians, and I've had experience in soldering when I first started working in like the workforce, and so I just say a couple months later, I finally just kind of manifested it. I applied through Indeed. I went through a staffing agency, which the staffing agency doesn't say they're a staffing agency anymore. They're not trying to market themselves that way anymore, which is kind of a little sketchy. But anyways, it's good that this happened, and I got into the company, and I start Monday, and so our podcasts are going to be recorded on Fridays now.
I have a question. Are you in a temp position then?
Technically, it's a temp to hire.
Okay.
So I'm getting paid and getting benefits from the staffing agency.
I was thinking maybe that's why the staffing agency isn't marketing themselves that way, so that they can get people hired rather than temporarily hired.
And that's what I was thinking, is that they're also trying to make their money, so they got to kind of do what they got to do, which is no problem. Look, I probably shouldn't say this online, but she hooked me up. I told her straight up. I said, look, I'm not going to pass a drug test if I have to take a drug test right now, because for this position you need to take a drug test, because they have a lot of government, which is all horse shit. But I think at this point people are just kind of bypassing a lot of steps to get people to work for them. And I was just honest with her. I said, look, I'm not going to be able to pass this drug test. And I said, I don't abuse smoking weed, but I do take it from time to time at night to keep myself sane. And I just, after that, I told my story, and I was honest, and she was like, I like your energy. You're just, you know what you want, blah, blah, blah. And, it all ended up working out. So I haven't had to yet take a drug test. So I'm curious to see what happened on that angle of everything. But
are you going to maybe abstain for a while just in case they do need to ask you?
100% no. But lately I haven't been wanting to smoke. So that's kind of a good thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't abusing abusing smoking, but I would go on binges where like I'd be like, fuck it, I'm smoking tonight. I'm gonna smoke more later. I'm gonna smoke. Like, I was actually gonna ask if you wanted to smoke before this episode, but I don't have anything with me, and I was gonna ask if you had anything.
No.
Because I'd be down. Because it's a fucking Saturday. We're feeling good. We got no obligations today. At least I don't.
No, I don't either.
So I don't know. So yeah. So the perfect storm of creating opportunity for myself. It works out, and it's it hurts me and it demoralizes me. But like I'm looking at it in a negative way. Is that I've been. People I've heard like, oh, congratulations, like, good job, you got. It's like, yeah, but like, I'm not happy, and like, unfortunately, because I've exhausted. I look at it this way: I've exhausted all of my avenues of. I've had money in savings, I've had emergency money, and if I look at the situation, I've needed that emergency money, I needed that savings to keep going and to. But at the end of the day, I've created a really good foundation for myself through my music, through this podcast now. We've really been putting content out there. We've really been recording. And, my dream, my whole thing through all this is, like, I would love to get, like, a corporate space to where we could, like, you can get cheap corporate space around here from $300 to $600 a month. I would love to get a space where we can just, like, our space to create. And it's like, so that's what, that's all the dreams and goals I have. But, unfortunately, I have to accept where my fate is right now. And if I want to get my destiny, I need to, do what I got to do. So here I am recording a podcast.
Well, I think it's nice that you're going to have something that will give you a little bit more of that, like, monetary stability,
Sure.
so that you know when and where your money is coming in, so that you can really give all of your energy to creating when you have the time to create.
You know what I said to Kaylee? I said, this is why I don't like making money, is because I already have a plan on what I want to spend everything on. And I have to fucking pay off some debt that I've put myself into. But I'm like, nope, I got to get this, I got to get this, I got to get this. Oh, maybe I can get this too. Oh, now I can get this. So, it's a catch-22 for myself. But I think that's the kind of the old way of thinking that I've... I know I've been talking a lot, and I've asked some feedback from, like, Kaylee about the podcast, and she says I talk a lot. But, anyways, go ahead. You say something fun and smart. I swear to God, I'm in my head right now because, like, I'm just thinking, like, you talk too much. Stop talking. I'm talking.
Oh, no. The thing is,
I just got a lot to say.
I
don't want to say it all.
For a very long time, I naturally just don't talk that much. And I actually have been sitting with this quite a bit more recently, and
that's good, actually. That's actually a good thing. Hey, cheers, by the way. Let's cheers. Let's do the coffee cheers. It's morning time.
Shout out to Grandma.
Shout out to G-Mob, man. Really, it should be wine, but, we're not there yet.
Yeah, well,
Dementia my ass. A bottle of wine, dude. She's off the rails.
We should... Do you think we could ever get her? I feel like if we were to, like, set up the microphones in her room and she didn't know.
Well, she would just do like the right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, she has dementia. She's been. I want to say she has late stages dementia, but like it's not dementia where she's totally gone. Like she still knows who everybody is, but like her short term is totally gone. Where
Did you know that she saw Nat King Cole?
Really?
Yeah.
She used to play like the violin.
What?
She is our grandmother is an amazing human being. And it's a shame that she really doesn't, like, she remembers it, but, like, it's not, in her dementia mind, it's not like oh yeah, I used to fucking watch this guy all the time. It's not that anymore.
I think part of it is also, like, she wasn't really celebrated for her talents.
Right.
Like, she was an amazing painter. We have so many of her paintings in this house.
I would love to put a gala up. Like, go rent a space for something for a little bit.
Yeah.
Just to maybe even create like a memorabilia type of thing for her.
I also wouldn't be surprised if she was a writer, because I remember.
No, she was. Her writing's beautiful too.
I remember being little, and going to her house. I don't remember which house it was, but like I stayed the night with her one time, and she totally like full on like artist pad, like books everywhere, papers everywhere. The chaos was real, but like I just remember like reading some of the stuff that I saw like that she was writing,
Yeah.
and I don't know that I registered that it was her writing.
Right. It's hard to go back in memories too, like remember that stuff. But like I know what you're talking about. I'm telling you, so I on my dad's side of the family is a very creative family. My cousin is a singer and songwriter out of Nashville, and she works for. She's a gig worker essentially. That's what every fucking musician is. But she works for this website, and she's really worked herself up on this website. So she's constantly she's writing songs for people. She's singing for people. She's just doing what she has to do. My other cousin, he actually. It's a really cool job, like, and nobody expected this from him. He's the meathead of the family. He's the big football star. He married the cheerleader. They have 2 kids now. They have the nice, beautiful home. But he's a video game environment designer, and he went to the Ringling School of Arts. Imagine this big ass fucking meathead walking through fucking campus, and you got all these like little nerds, little fucking with their colored hair and shit, the fucking liberals and shit, and. Yeah, so my point is, I've been listening to too much Chrissy D chaos, dude. I've been listening way too much to him. I'm sorry to all you beautiful people out there.
I wish you all could have seen the look that I just gave him.
I'm sorry. It was such a bad thing to say. Chrissy D, dude, fuck you, but shout out. And then, our family, like Olivia, she's a really good artist.
Yeah.
I think she needs to draw more, though, in my opinion.
She'll get there.
It's just our family is very, very artistic, and it's not until recently when I've been able to go out there and pursue my musical dreams, pursue my business dreams, pursue my entrepreneurial dreams, that I realize that like. A lot of our family has an untapped ability that, we can do anything we want.
Yeah.
But that's where it starts.
You know what's funny? I feel like the parts of our family that have some of the strongest technical skills in the arts have no desire to pursue it.
Absolutely zero. Which then brings it back to Grandma, because she was like... Her fucking... I need to post... I'm going to post, like, pictures of her art somewhere. Because it's like... Yeah, she played the violin. She was a writer. She was a huge drawer. Like, I have a fucking Scooby-Doo sketch that I framed. And I found it in our aunt's garage. She just had a bunch of grandma's stuff. And, like, it was getting watered down. The humidity was getting to the paper. And, like... It was all crinkly, but I put it...
I'm so glad that you got the Scooby-Doo sketch.
I love Scooby-Doo. And one day I'm going to get a tattoo of it. Probably when I get my first paycheck. From this new job, I'm getting a fucking tattoo. On top of everything else that I want to get. And so, like, I just... That's why I think I have this drive to, like, go after becoming an entrepreneur. And just using my creative ability so that I can... I'm telling you, every single day I think about wanting to, like, buy my mother a fucking beach home, have people work for me in our family, so that they can, like, have a weight off their shoulders, so that they're not pressured to have to get up all the time. Stop Kaylee from work. Like, I'm telling you, I think about this shit every single day, and, like, I want it so badly. But it's when you least expect it is when you get it.
Yeah.
So that's why I had to accept my fate and get a job.
I think also this is a little bit tied into like the savior complex, which I know that I have. My drive is a lot more along like the emotional scale, and like I've had to do a lot of learning of like stepping back and like not giving people the answers to the lessons that they're learning.
Yeah. Because it's so easy to
It's
look
easy
at
to see
somebody's
them.
to look at somebody's scenario and be like, oh, you just have to fucking go walk around the block once a day. I think you'll be
Yeah.
all right.
But I was using that as like a distraction tactic from like looking in the fucking mirror.
Yo, that's actually crazy because like I just got the chills. It's kind of like an epiphany moment for myself. Is like that's for real, for real. Like a lot of people don't. It's a fucking distraction looking at other people's lives and you know I've had to build a wall with my mother because of that, where she would try to be that mother all the time and not allow me to make my own mistakes, and she would constantly, you know, try to maybe do this. Like she's constantly giving me relationship advice.
But we're very trained to
Right.
critically think to solve other people's problems.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times we do it in the hopes that if we can do that for someone and we care about them, there's some part of us that believes that they care about us and they'll do it for us.
Right.
So our problems will get solved by that process, but it's just not true.
Right.
Like, and until we stop trying to solve everybody else's problems and actually accept our problems for what they actually are in front of us and stop like blindsiding ourselves with it, then we can put all of that energy into actually solving our own problems. And who is better equipped and better informed to solve our problems than us?
Not us. Us, I meant. Yeah, no, you're right. And at the end of the day, it's like, it's that simple. But like a lot of people look at it as, I remember this.
It's simple. It's not easy.
This chick I used to fuck with, she used to say to me, like, she like would always like say complain about some shit. But then I'd be like, well, why don't you just do this or do that? She's like, well, it's easy for you to say. Like, it's easy. It's easy. Goes back to what you said before. It's easy for somebody to say those things. Like, you know, go walk around the block once a day. I think you'll be all right. But like, you don't know the struggle that person's going through.
Yeah.
And that's what empathy is, right? That's where you have to show empathy, and show that you care, but you don't care. Like, you show that, okay, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I'm here for you. And leave it at that, right? Just leave it at that. Just leave it there. And I know from experience that takes pressure off of myself when the people I love and the people I go to confide into. For instance, your dad is one of those people. I'm telling you, I've really been on this stick about him and I have built this fucking pack that has just blossomed into like bringing more people into our little corner for when we need to confide to one another about things. Like we're here to agree with each other, even if we disagree.
Yeah.
We might give them the opposite, but you know, somehow we can relate our lives to each other. And that's just like
It's
building that
support
group
without
of people.
judgment.
But I'll tell you what, him and I had to go through some shit to get to that point.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't talk to each other for months. I lived with him. It just, we fought all the time at one point. But you know what? I don't want to take credit for it, but I'm going to take credit for it. I think I'm the one that I believed in the relationship that we were trying to build. And I think that trickled off into his ideal thinking, his thinking of, you know what, you're right. And then he knows that in time heals all wounds. So, like, that's how he looked at our situation at that time.
There was also a lot of like
Here we are.
background conversations because he actually talked to me a lot about what you guys were going through.
I believe it.
And very much like this, one of the things that I just remember saying like pretty regularly is you guys love each other. You're not trying to hurt each other.
Right.
And like we've talked about it, when you have anxiety, you become very defensive. It's this very like this posturing of I don't want to get hurt. And when you're stuck in that anxiety state, you're convinced that everyone and anyone is trying to hurt you.
All the time. Yep.
And even if it's not like calculated and malicious, it's a every man for himself kind of world. But the evidence suggests across time, across humanity, that that is not actually the human nature. But yet we're all convinced of it. And we all have like been fed this lie, we believe this lie, and we just keep repackaging it.
Traditional manipulation. Put the sparkles across the screen. Yeah, it's it's funny. Ever since we had that episode, I've really been like noticing more like literally everything is traditional manipulation. Our whole lives have been fucking manipulated, and like I want to change that so badly. And that's where my goals and my desires come from, I believe. Now that I think about it.
And I think the thing is to remember about manipulation, because a lot of people, especially today, it's a very pop
He's
culture
here.
term.
Dun dun dun. Oh shit! The energy's here.
Are we in the
What's-
middle of it?
What's up?
We are. We're coming to an end though. We're ready to close out. If you want to run the
I
next,
figured you said 10:30. She'd be upstairs till like quarter up.
you want to run the next one with us? Talk about anything you want.
Right now.
Give us like 5 minutes.
We're kinda-
and you can
That's
jump in the
fine.
next one.
Okay.
Don't say anything though. I know you. I know you're giddy. You want it.
So with manipulation, there's this very strong connotation that there is the big baddie out there that is
Sure.
manipulating everyone, whether it be the elite, whether it be the narcissist in your life, which is a very overused term. The thing is, most people are not pathologically narcissistic.
It's
There
learned.
are a lot of people who have personality disorders and have PTSD and CPTSD that have narcissistic symptoms out of self-protection.
And it's learned. You're saying that it's learned. It comes from the experiences that they've experienced
It's
and their
defensive
environment.
patterning.
Yeah.
And everyone deserves the grace and space to start to see that in themselves and work themselves through it. And the best way that we can really like do that is to work that out of ourselves
Yeah.
and be the example. And then when we see it in others, take the time and the space to, one, ground ourselves down because it will trigger you.
Yeah.
It will put you into defense mode. And this has been a thought that I've been having a lot around like boundaries, especially with family members during the holidays. And knowing
That's when it ramps up. The holidays, bro. They
Yeah.
bring fucking crazy people out.
like you, especially like through COVID and everything, and through all of like the Black Lives Matter movements that happened through the pandemic, there are a lot of people who are like, their tolerance level is gone.
Yeah.
Like especially in customer service, in the younger generations dealing with older generations and their learned patterns, like people have had it. But the problem that I'm noticing in myself is when I am recognizing that I'm having a boundary be trampled. I didn't know my boundaries for a very long time, and I did have to learn to have a visceral reaction to them being crossed
Yeah.
and getting defensive. That defensiveness was the clue that my boundary had been crossed. And now that I'm in this space where I'm starting to recognize that that's what's happening, I'm able to talk to specific people about it who are not going to let me like dive down that rabbit hole of complaining and gossiping and like just shit talking. They're going to encourage me to ground myself, to find safety in myself so that I can approach these situations in love, because we can't teach other people
There it is. In love.
we can't teach other people how to
it.
treat us in a defensive pattern. All we're going to do is put them into a defensive pattern and the cycle continues.
Yeah.
But if we really want to treat people how to treat us, we do it with space and grace and love so that they feel that love and they feel that grace and forgiveness for their patterning. It's the only way they're going to see that their patterning is unhelpful.
But I can't help to think, like, I'm trying to think of that person right now who's listening to this, who is like, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but like, how do I get out of any of that? How, like, you know, where do I start? You know, that's like, I think that's the reason why I really love this, is because, you know, it's funny, the past few episodes, we've kind of just been slowly breaking down traditional manipulation. But that's the joy of having a conversation. So yeah, so there's a start there. Like, there's so many different areas and different ways to start. It's like one way could be is to have a conversation about it. Have a conversation about the way you're feeling at that moment. Maybe somebody triggered something, or, you know, that's what's so special about Tommy.
But depending on where you are, I think it's really important. Like, we were talking after the last podcast about like quality people in your life. And this is a topic that's kind of resurfaced several times, and it's probably going to for the rest of my life. But
never. No more. As we take a stand here, we're done with that. Just kidding.
Yeah, having really good people to have those conversations with when you don't know how to hold those conversations for the people in your life who don't get it. When you have that moment, you need those people in your life who are going to help you see your own clarity. Yeah. Who are going to ask you really good questions, who are going to challenge you without setting you into a defensive mode. People who you feel safe with and seen with. Yeah. And those are sometimes difficult to find, but once you really start to get on this journey, you'll recognize that these people will be coming into your life. But like everything, there's a price to pay. And sometimes you have to let other people go in order to create the energetic space in your sphere for a new person to come in. And it doesn't mean
and that's hard sometimes.
It is very hard.
Very hard.
And it doesn't mean that those other people don't get a place in your world. It's just they no longer get to be your everyday.
And also, what comes with that is that boundary setting. Mm-hmm. Because you have to make the choice. Do you want this person to continue to be in your life, or do you want them out of your life? If you want them in your life, you have to set a boundary with them. And for instance, I did that with my music, with some people. You know, I was doing this for free. Now I'm at a point where I'm not doing this for free no more. There's my boundary. Yeah. The $60 that you're going to have to pay me to want to get the best quality work that you've gotten so far is that boundary. And I don't do that because I know I think there's a part of me that thinks like I have the power to do it. So like I'm like, yeah, but also I've almost created an album for you guys. Yeah. So it's like, you know,
what I
it's
will
the
say
boundary
that
setting.
I see is like you obviously have strong emotion there.
Yeah.
And what that strong emotion is like telling me from like perceiving you is there was a time where you were interacting with them and creating with them where there was an equal energy exchange. You were learning and growing, and they were getting work from you through that. But then at some point, that growth plateaued. And so that energy exchange was no longer equal. And so what you're doing by setting a price is saying, hey, I'm not saying no to you, but to have equal energy exchange, this is what now has to happen.
And what's funny is that if you invest, like, it's so hard. It's still hard for me. Like, I've invested, you know, a decent amount of money into my music, and like I've had no money to spend on my music. But like the time I did have money to spend on my music, I spent on my music. But I know all that money I spent has led me to that opportunity, has led me to the chance to go make more money, to become a professional in that field. Even if it's I make $40 off one session and that's all I make the rest of the year, I'm still technically a professional if you want to break it down, you know?
So what I would like you to do is go back and listen to the last chunk that you just said and apply that to the job you just got.
I already forgot what I just said, to be honest.
That's why I'm saying go back and listen to it.
It's such a bad thing. Thoughts come and go. Yeah, I this was a good episode. Let's end it here. We'll start up a new one. I had a topic idea and I wanted to write down, but I need to start bringing my own notebook and just I have little notebooks that I can bring. But anyways, hey guys, thank you guys for stopping by here on Spotlight. We hope you enjoyed this. Love and I have, I feel like, a lot more to say, so please listen up for the next episodes coming up. I hope everybody has a wonderful fucking holiday and that you just continue to love the people around you, whether or not their beliefs are right or wrong or whatever the hell it is. Just continue to love the people around you, and things will get better, and things do get better by just even simply putting a smile on your face.
And I think what's even more important is allowing yourself to receive the love that you're being given.
Receive it. You know, it's a lot of people want to give and they think giving is the right thing to do, but allow yourself to receive, because some people don't allow themselves to receive.
I think most people don't.
And so it's a one-way street. It's okay to receive. It's okay to receive $1,000 bonus. It's okay to receive a hug from somebody.
Mm-hmm. It's okay to receive a compliment.
Yeah. It's okay. It's all gonna be okay.
Like, you are worthy of what you're being given.
Damn straight. Fucking holla at me. All right, later, guys. See ya. Thanks for stopping. Woo!